Good day to everybody. We are here today for the fourth part of the corporate scenario and strategies of international business development for SMEs. We have seen already why SMEs should go and think to be international, in which manner they should go, what are the topics, the main topics they have to face if they do decide to go international. And now we are going to talk about export methods and procedures. I will try to pass you forward some methodologies for having a smoother and faster access to international markets. The outline of the lessons are the following: transport, documenting and consignment, and the 4 Ps: products, price, place, promotion. Plus other important steps like the contract of sale, finance of foreign trade, the export plan. So export means producing a product in one country and selling it in another. This is the main issue. Sometimes can also be a service, generating a service in a country and selling this service in another. I want to remember you that I'm saying export, but in most of the cases it will be standing issue also for import side. Governments are usually in favor of exporting and encourage it improves the balance of payment position. This is quite normal. You know, all the countries have this constraint of the balance of payments. They want to have a positive balance of payments, where positive means that the export has been always bigger than import, as it is very important for the economy of governments. You know, but this is really a global issue, so if everybody is just interested to export, doesn't work. So in all the countries there is a balance always of import and export, and very few countries are capable to have a positive balance of payments. Most governments provide help for exporters either in the form of subsidies or in the form of advice of practical help. We have not to forget that not only governments are providing this support, there are also supranational entities like UNIDO, EBRD, World Bank, IFC, which are operating and providing financial and not only financial support for promoting export and or import, and especially on the advice side. Banks are those which are providing, in most of the cases, the practical support to companies which want to export. Exporting, in most of the cases, means shipping physical products. Something has to go physically from point A to point B. The export of goods to a foreign country involves, of course, transportation. Transportation is an important issue. Involves, therefore, also insurance and extensive documentation. Packaging and labeling. We have not to forget that depending on country of destination, packaging and labeling should be conforming the local rules. In most of the cases have to be translated. Organizing payments, that is a crucial issue for the company. If you export and you do not organize the flow of payments, you take the risk of not getting paid. Pre-shipment inspection and foreign technical standard also requires attention. You know, for different reasons, different countries are putting different kind of barriers in order to favorite the local production. sometimes these barriers are made by technical standards, meaning that certain certifications which are good in a country are not then good in another country, so you have to certify your production according to the destination rules. So let's speak about transport. Transport is not always made by truck. Transport in most of the cases is done through ship or plane. Transport is a critical element of wider subject of logistics. You know, when you ship something, you have to start thinking how the product, what I do produce in my factory is going to reach the port, and then from the port it gets on board of a ship, then has to be transported again by trucks to the final destination of the buyer. In selecting a means of transport, the exporter needs to balance cost against speed. This is one of the most tricky issues. You know, the buyer, in most of the cases, is interested in getting what has bought and what is going to pay, or in some cases has already paid, as fast as possible. You, as an exporter, you have to balance the cost of a speedy shipment. So it is part of the commercial negotiation. First of all, we have to identify who is going to pay the shipment and what kind of shipment has to be utilized. Specific factors influencing this choice includes the urgency with which customer requires the goods. I said already to you, if we are talking about foodstuff is something that has to be moved very safely and very fastly. So we have to arrange and to be capable to have international forwarding agencies which are guaranteeing us the speed and the quality of the service. The nature of the product and reliabilities of arrival dates. You know, most of the discussions which are from time to time taking place between exporters and importers are connected to not respecting the arrival days. You know, these issues I'm stressing is that for new exporters, they have to stand as a focal point of attention. So when you start this export activity, as well as if we are talking about import activities, there are certain topics that we have to keep always in mind to determine if it's feasible a certain date for arrival of goods, or perhaps to agree on different means of transportation to be sure that I will be getting the goods I need, or I will be selling and forwarding the goods which have been bought by the agreed dates. The value of goods. Value of goods is another important issue, as it is really tied up with the insurance. Goods have to be insured, they have to travel duly insured, as you know, it's quite common that for different reasons they can either be lost, robbed. So also the attention to the insurance value is another focal point. Everybody knows that as much the value is higher, as much as the cost of insurance is higher itself. But if I do underestimate this factor, I can probably have some surprises if any damage or any robbery takes place. Convenience of collection by customer. Okay, now where I have to ship the goods I have exported, we have to keep in mind that they have to come across custom and they have to be close to the customer, which has both. The combination of the two factors will be helping me to identify which is the best place where goods have to enter the import country. Storage charges. Storage charges, as we said, sometimes customs are not so efficient and they need some time before custom formalities are processed. So we have to keep in mind that from time to time we have also storage charges to be taken into consideration. Packaging cost, another issue, depending on the countries where I want to export, they may require different kind of packaging in respect of the domestic market, or I myself have decided to have a different packaging for promoting my products in that specific country. Documentation expenses. Documentation expenses sometimes are very important to be taken into consideration, as certain countries, they require a lot of certificates, a lot of other documents like declaration, translation, certified translation. So this is another important and crucial issue to be taken into consideration when I will be constructing the price. Legal validity of documentation representing the goods. Depending on the goods, some legal aspects are taken into consideration, especially if you are selling products which are composite product, meaning that they have different parts which belong into other or third parties. So the custom sometimes requests technical passport of the machinery, or they want to be sure that whatever is utilized is legal. And so it is another bureaucracy aspect to be taken into consideration. But also here you will be getting good support from your bank. Documenting and consignment. The process of documenting and consignment, we are going to use the 4 Ps of marketing, can be summarized as follows, starting from the idea of going international and the fulfillment of an order. So we are going to see which are the steps I have to take, these 4 steps. I should process in my mind and then in a concrete manner for transforming my idea of exporting into an effective export. Products, first issue. Product adaptation and development of international market if it is necessary. We saw already that based on the information I got, sometimes my products have to be adapted, a little bit adapted in order to match the needs of the market I want to approach. Packaging and labeling, we said already, labeling especially, labeling should be translated in local language using the standards which are requested by local law. Translation of technical literature. In some cases, I should accompany my product with instruction for use and other information which can be sometimes technical information. So I have to take into consideration that I have to translate all of them in the language of the buyers. Quality management. I am a newcomer. My company has started only recently exporting, so I have to be sure that the quality of my product and the quality of the management of the product is top quality. So I have to prepare myself also to handle those things those items that may be not properly working. So I have to think also to a post-sale organization. Licensing and contract manufacturing, that is a second stage or probably a third stage when I will be deciding not to produce any longer totally in my home country with my own company, but I will be thinking to go license to somebody else in order to produce directly in the country which I have found as a new market. Price. Choice of price strategy. Okay, we have already spoke about this price strategy. Anyway, I have to determine where I want to position my products in the new market, where I want to be, to which segment of customer I want to direct myself. Competitor analysis, the same. I have been making research and studies before taking the decision of going outside my country, and I have made the competitor analysis so I know what they are doing, what their prices, which kind of segment they are targeting. I will determine also determination of discount structure as from in certain cases, in case of sales, in case of market habits, I should be prepared to make discounts. I have also to think to credit management as if I have agent, distributor, I have to think also how I can support them by granting a little bit of credit also to them. I have to choose and delivery of terms. I mean, choice of delivery in terms is very much linked to the kind of logistic I can organize, the storage. I have to figure out if I'm going to deliver on a weekly, on a monthly basis, depending which kind of product I have, I should take different decisions. Therefore, I have to make a costing and budgeting program. This is very important. Only the mix of these will be giving me the possibility of identifying a precise price for being on that market. Now let's speak about place. International distribution, controls of agents, export documentation, insurance, establishment of joint venture as subsidiary if necessary. Now, I have decided to go international with my products, so I have to figure out what is the best location. If I will be in the position of doing everything that is necessary out from the place where I am, or I have to be physically also elsewhere. Elsewhere means perhaps a place where international distribution is much easier, so I will produce in my country as having an international distribution point somewhere else for serving different markets. I will figure out if I am in a position to control the agents from where I am. I have also to understand if documentation, export documentation and insurance are convenient to be conducted out from my own country, or if there are places where they are more convenient. In terms of insurance, there are international insurance company that can provide insurance easily on export side, even if they are not domestic. Last but not least, I can evaluate if it makes sense, if not necessarily now, but in the future, to set up a joint venture or a subsidiary. where subsidiary means another factory of mine located in another country for serving certain determined export market. Promotion. International advertising, public relation, and sales promotion. This is quite an issue, as you know, I have been making my homework. I know that my product has a market. I have found the logistic means. I have been capable to identify a price. Now I have to think how to promote my production outside my country. You know, different kind of promotion. The style of promotion, the language of promotion, the instruments and the tool of promotion which are utilized in certain countries are much different from what may be in my own country. So I have to keep in mind that it's a very simple issue. Not always what is good in my country will result as the same as good outside my country. International direct marketing, if appropriate, means that I can use internet if the product I do sell can be easily shipped by preferential courier, and the cost of forwarding the products is not killing the product itself. So depends from company to company, but the direct marketing in international site through the web is nowadays one of the most common tools. I can use the international marketing, the web, also for promoting things that they have then to be physical shipped in other manners. So it's a sort of virtual catalog I put on the web for promoting myself. Control of salespeople, translation of sales literature, exhibiting, and market research. Now, we saw that I may have agent and distributor in a specific country or group of countries, and I have to be capable to control what they are doing. What they are doing in terms of performance, but especially in terms of expenses. I have to be sure that all the literature that is supporting their sales is properly translated. I have to take into consideration to participate to some exhibition. Exhibitions are quite important, either domestically or international, for promoting my products. So I will be selecting 2 fairs, international fairs per year, where I will be presenting myself, my company, and my products. And of course, I should be keeping on doing marketing research. Other important step in my process of becoming a strong SME with a vocation to export. Pre-shipment inspections, contract of sales, insurance, custom declaration. We said already that some countries are utilizing certain situations as some barriers in order to protect domestic production. Sometimes pre-shipment inspections are requested. In other cases, the contract of sales have to be made according to a specific jurisdiction and law. Insurance should be provided by specific insurance company, not by everybody of them. And customer declaration has to be fulfilled in a very bureaucratic manner. Credit insurance is a separate issue, as this is something that is going to ensure myself, I mean the exporter, in order to get paid. Finance, it is the permanent issue. How I'm going to finance myself, the production, all these things I have to do. before I start having a nice inflow of cash as a result of my process of getting internationalized. The contract of sale, few words on contracts. Basically, it should always include a price escalation clause, where price escalation clause means that if certain things are going to happen, price will be changing accordingly. An arbitration clause. Arbitration clause is necessary as, you know, everybody wishes that everything goes always nicely and smoothly, but if things are not going precisely as it was agreed in the contract, we should identify a place where to discuss about the responsibilities and the possible damages. A force majeure clause, dock strikes, political disturbances. You know, nowadays we have seen that sometimes even countries which have been considered peaceful for a long time, sometimes they have some local problem. So it may be that I exported the goods are at the harbor, and they cannot be shipped for the reason that there are some strikes going on. So we have to include in the contract also this hypothesis. Retention clause is, it belongs more to the contract where not goods are, but more services. Anyway, it is a clause that is stating what is happening in case of what. So if I will be making a discount, or if I am going to get the merchandise back, or I have to replace the service. Now, a few words on finance of foreign trade. Finance of foreign trade is based on different instruments, and we are going to see some of them. Bill of exchange. Now, for all these topics, you may refer to the website for further information, but you should refer also to your bank, as your bank is the one that knows better all the financial aspect of the transaction I'm going to show you. Anyway, the bill of exchange is a piece of paper where somebody is promising to pay at a certain specific date a certain amount of money. It's utilized in commerce for deferred payment. Documentary collection is another instrument which is utilized in international trades. Is very simple, common use between entities which are knowing themselves since long times. Is a serial of piece of paper which are then presented at the bank, and the bank, based on the checking of this piece of paper, will be paying you as an exporter. Acceptance credit is something that is still used in international trade. It is another way of having deferred payment. Documentary letter of credits, I think, is the one that is more of importance to you and as new exporters. Is a tool issued by a bank, and the bank, based on the control of documents, will be paying the export. Performance guarantee are collateral aspect of exports, especially when there are no goods involved, but there are contracts and services. So it's a guarantee that ensuring that in case the services is not the adequate, somebody is going to reimburse the payments or the prepayment which has been made. Export plan. Export plan, we are going to talk now that basically your company which has explored the market, that is ready to go, and exporting has to have a true export plan. Should not be a spot transaction, but part of an organized plan. As soon as the firm has decided to take exporting as an important objective, it needs to prepare an export plan, the purpose of which is threefold as to compel management to examine the merits of exporting objectively and systematically. Means that, as I said, a plan is a steady desire of doing something. This desire of exporting should be really seen as an objective and a systematic, with a systematic approach from the management. To generate commitment to exporting among those who will be involved in the implementing process. Also here, inside the company, inside the SMEs, everybody should be sharing the desire of exporting to challenge by having additional market on the domestic. So everybody should be involved. To establish priority and to relate exporting to the firm's overall corporate plan. This is as well quite important. We have to find out how and where to put export among the different priorities that our companies have. I have the company, I am the owner, I am the president. I have to find out first, for me, where exports stand. Is the priority? Is one of the priority? Is not a priority in respect of the other areas I want to develop within my company? If I do not do that, I will be creating confusion. So I have first to fix where it stands export. The plan itself should be in report format with the following headings. Now, for practical terms, and also for sharing this export plan with your bank, which on that basis will be evaluating how and to which extent to support financially your export plan, you have to put that in writing. So you have to identify and put in writing which are the reasons for exporting, which are the market I have decided to enter, what are the situation I'm going to find, competitive situation in target markets, so to stress and to make aware, especially your bankers, that you have evaluating what you are going to find there. The products to be offered, you have identified among the several products you have in your production, which are those which are going to fit the markets. You have identified a research methodology, research methods that will be permitting you to say that those products are adequate. You have identified also some promotional methods, which will be one of the tools for being successful. Export formalities, you have understood, you have identified which are the export formalities that you have to process. Organization, you have, and you are sure to have inside your firm the necessary organization for entering this exercise of export. You know already human resource requirements. So in some other lessons that if you want to export, probably you will be in need of some capability of translating, speaking other languages than yours. So you need some more expert within your structure, so you know already which are the requirements in terms of human resource. Transport and distribution, based on the selection of products you have made, based on the country of destination, you have been evaluating and you know precisely what are the transport and distribution issues, objective and budget. So you have been budgeting the exercise, you have shared with your bank the financial support, and you have been giving to you and to your company a steady and feasible objective. Last but not least, you have prepared also a contingency plan. Contingency plan is called sometimes plan B. What to do in case that things are not going properly. So you have contingency plans involving human resources, contingency plans involving logistic, I mean different situations which can be at risk, can be handled in a different manner than planned, but you know already how to handle them.